Hi guys, this is Jeremy K695. Good to, well, hopefully some of you enjoy some of my videos. I'm just going to do a few while I'm back home this weekend, slightly different, as you can see. Basically, yeah, it's slightly different to my paintballing videos, which most of you are probably quite liking to see, but I thought I'd do something different for once, just to change things up. But yeah, this is my Hyper 8.5, which is basically a 1/8 scale nitro racing buggy. Obviously some of you will probably be familiar with this. I suspect some of you guys from over in America are probably slightly more familiar than the guys in the UK. But yeah, the basics of a buggy like this is you've obviously got the engine here, which is a 0.21, which top speed for most engines you'll be looking around high 30s, very low 30s for the top engines. Obviously you've got your engine here, the fins obviously to cool the engine down, things like that. You've got the engine up probably here, the piston obviously inside here. You've got the pipe here. Obviously the different pipes will do different tunes and increased bottom end, which will be higher sort of acceleration, and different engines have different characteristics. Some will be higher top speed but slow off the mark, or the opposite way around, or a bit of both. Obviously you've got the tank here. I'll just zoom in for you. No, I can't. I'm just using a different camera to my normal one, so I can't actually zoom in, which is a bit of a pain, which I just realised I got videoing. But yeah, obviously this is the fuel tank in here, which is 125cc. The fuel goes in there. Once that's the fuel lid, you've got the fuel line, also goes from the tank all the way around here. You'll probably notice that it's quite long. Just so, for instance, if you're running the buggy, you flip over, the actual suction point for the fuel, which is actually a nitro, which is methanol, not actual proper sort of petrol as you would use in car or two-stroke or anything like that. It's a specific model fuel. Obviously the clunk is in the bottom there, which sucks up the fuel, and then obviously through the fuel line into the carburetor, which obviously goes into the engine and combustion and blah blah blah. But yeah, so basically the long fuel line, as it goes all the way down from here, underneath there, up, round here, through there, down, then into the carb here. Basically, that is the extra long line. Is so you basically got fuel in there. So if you're upside down, all the fuel, if you think about it, is going to be at the top. So basically sucking in nothing, because the fuel will be the opposite end to where the clunk is. Obviously, if you're upside down, the clunk will be down here or up here, which is the bottom, but the top, and obviously it'll be sucking the air and all the fuel is down this end. So the fuel line, you got to lift the engine a little bit left in the fuel line, so if Marshall or someone can go and you can flip back over, and majority of the time it will keep it running. If you've got a short one, it will conk out. Obviously there's no fuel getting into the engine, so it will just stall. Yeah, so you've just got the engine here, the pipe here, the fuel tank. You've got air filter. Obviously it's got the foam in there which filters into the carb, which I'll show you in another video. But yeah, as you can see, the size of it, it's well, it's 1/8 scale, so I'd probably say it's maybe a foot and a bit in lengthwise, but they're all different. Obviously I'll just flip it round so you can see slightly better there. You've also got the engine there, and in that engine there is the spark plug, which then you'd use a glow igniter, which I'll show in another video. Obviously goes onto there, which will help to create the heat for the to start the engine. Obviously the air filter there, which sucks in the air and gets out all the dust. Obviously tank. Right, so I'll show you the other side. The other side here, I'll just adjust this slightly, get a little closer if I can. Obviously this is the opposite side. In here is the receiver box, which the same layout is normally similar with most 1/8 scale buggies, to be fair. Obviously in here you have your receiver, which is currently out of mine at the moment, which is there. And also the aerial camera's over here, and your receiver battery pack. Obviously it's a small battery pack, which just powers the servos. As you can see here, you've got one servo there, which is for the throttle and brake, as you can see there. I'll show you more detail, and obviously the steering servo. And if you look there, then that turns obviously the wheels and the arms. But yeah, that's the basics thing. Obviously you've got obviously the wing back here, obviously different style wings. This is a Proline high downforce. You can see it's got the cutout bits here for extra downforce supposedly, but and obviously you've got the shocks. These are some upgraded shocks. These are the Hongnor big bores, which are slightly wider, so more shock oil, which I'll talk about in another video a bit more detailed. It's basically a lot better than these stock ones. But yeah, this is the basic overview, and obviously in here you've got the one brake pad here, and then one here, the central differential. Obviously you've got the main drive shaft through here, and obviously another differential there and differential there, and you can adjust all the weight in there for slightly looser in the front or tighter in the rear, or just to change the characteristics of the car. If you want a sort of slightly looser rear end, then you would put slightly thinner in the back, and just little things like that, which pretty much anything you can do in a normal car you can do on these, if not more. But yeah, that's the basics of just showing you my buggy. I've had this for probably about a year and a half. It's pretty it's pretty clean compared to some people's, but it's quite dirty for me. I normally spend quite a long time cleaning it. Obviously that's the under chassis, you've got the flywheel there, and all the screws and the A-arms and things like that. It's a bit dirty, as you can see. I used it the weekend, went to a local track to do a bit of practicing, but yeah, so this is just a quick little overview of the Hyper 8.5. I would show you my shell, but I'm not going to. Maybe in a later video I'll show it, but it's nothing that special. But yeah, so that's a little overview, and I'll do a few more, and hopefully you'll enjoy some.